You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for the News Flash segment. My name is Roslyn Felly. If you're just joining us, join us to say a very big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for always having us covered. Of course, every gadget that you need, especially if you want it to be authentic, then you look no further than Franco Trading Enterprise. They've got all of that and even many more. All you need to do is to download the app on your phone to make things very simple. So the app is Franco Trading app. Now, when you do this, you can purchase any gadgets of your choice. It's a mobile phones you want, television set, CCTV cameras, whatever you're looking for, they have it, and even many more. Just make sure that you purchase it and we'll deliver it to you at your doorstep. You can also visit our shops and pick any item of your choice. Some of the items are even discounted. Now pay day. Just come to Franco Trading Enterprise. For further inquiries, contact us or reach us on our website, which is www.francotradingenterprise.com. Franco Trading Enterprise, still and still, phone Papa Pafi. Like I said earlier, it's time for the News Flash segment, and I want to welcome my very first guest who is seated with me, Richard Sumah, who is a part of the Movement for Change. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Jocelyn.
How are you? Roslyn, actually.
Roslyn, yes.
How are you?
I'm very fine. I hope you are fine too.
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. Thank God.
I'm doing very well, and people were calling on one particular company license to be revoked, and it looks like the government has decided to do it, and that's Akonta Mining.
Yeah.
We'll delve into that. And for those of you who are home, let's hear your voice this morning as well. What do you think about the revocation of Akonta Mining's license? Now, yesterday we heard that there is actually a piece of or a portion of forest that has been sold by Akonta Mining to other miners for 300,000 Ghana cedis. We want to delve deeper into that conversation and other things that they have done. Hence, their license has been revoked. Now, we know the owner of Akonta Mining, which is the one and only chairman, who is a party chairman in the Ashanti region for the NPP. So we'll delve deeper into it. But before then, let's start with our newspapers. And I'll start with the very first one, which is the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The Ghanaian Times newspaper. And it reads, government revokes Akonta Mining a lease for trespassing Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. We'll take a look at that story. That's our main story for this morning. Women empowerment in Chiame, minority leader pledges support. At Quo Business Forum, okay, so I just want you to see that I'm doing the Ghanaian Times newspaper, the Ghanaian Times. At Quo Business Forum, we are turning the corner. President Mahama tributes pour in from world leaders after, okay, that's what President Mahama said. And also Pope Francis, yesterday, the Lord called him to his side. And so there have been a lot of tributes that are pouring in. And we in Ghana, we have also shared our tribute to the Vatican, because currently the Vatican has lost the Pope. But people are saying that we could have the next Pope being a Ghanaian. And if it happens, then it will be the very first black Pope that we've had, a first Pope from Africa and first Pope from Ghana. That will be quite good. And that's the person of Cardinal Turkson. Can it happen? Well, we have our fingers crossed, and we are hoping that he will become the first black pope in the world. The next newspaper is the Daily Graphic newspaper. The Daily Graphic newspaper. At Quo Business Forum, Mahama unveils a vision for private sector. So if you're in the private sector, I think finally there's some good news coming your way. And I hope that you grab, the paper, or you go into any of the news portals and read more on it and see how, the government can help you and you can benefit from this government as well. 34 police commanders are reshuffled in galamsey areas, and this is still to continue the fight against galamsey. World mourns Pope Francis, and the banner headline says Akonta Mining license revoked, and this is our main story for today. I'll do the Economy Times newspaper next, the Economy Times newspaper. All right, and it says Ghana's anchors on fiscal discipline to pursue IMF program targets. The mines takeover, Minecom dispels a lack of a local capacity sentiment, and Ghana's first listed commercial paper issuance opens door to new financing mode. My final newspaper is the New Republic newspaper, and I don't know why the New Republic newspaper's banner headline is saying going where? Who is going? Anyway, 219 victims freed from cybercrime hell, hidden horrors of Subri Forest slum as Forest Commission discloses shocking details of Abrewa Nick crime. NACOC rates Medina Market and Redco floods as government kicks anti-narcotics operation in action. Calls for military base in Boko escalate and Benin-bound arms busted. And that'll be all for the New Republic newspaper. Now, I did say earlier that we are going to be talking about the revocation of Akonta Mining's license. And so let me just give you a brief of it, okay? Now, yesterday, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofibua, actually came out and told us a few findings that had happened with regards to Akonta Miners. In his says, he did make us aware that there is a part of the forest, and I just want you to get that detail for you. So they said to us that the Aboy Forest Reserve has been sold, a part of it has been sold to illegal miners for a staggering 300,000 Ghana cedis per concession. And he says, whereas these illegal miners operate under Akonta's protection, devastating the river tunnel and surrounding forests with impunity. So these and many others. Now, other things that they said was that when they actually went on the raid, they got armed with this intel on the eve of Good Friday. So this is when it happened. An intelligence-led operation by the Ghana Police Service and the Forestry Commission led to raid of 6 illegal mining sites linked to Akonta Mining. Now, according to the minister, the operation in compartment 49, which began at 5 a.m., lasted a whopping 12 hours, resulted in, number one, 51 arrests, that is 8 Chinese, 39 Ghanaian men, and 4 Ghanaian women. Seizure of about 30 excavators, 5 recovered and impounded at the operation base. 2 pump-action guns loaded with 5 and 2 rounds of BB cartridges each, 1 single-barrel gun retrieved, and confiscation of 2 Toyota Hilux pickups, 1 Toyota RAV4, 4 motorbikes, and a cache of mining equipment. So these are the things that actually got, seized when they went on the raid. So this morning, we are going to be talking about Akonta Mining's license being revoked. I've been joined by Derek Ajekum, who is a communications member for the NPP. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, my dear.
How are you?
By God's grace, we are doing so well.
Great. Thank you so much for coming. And so, Richard, I'll start the conversation with you. I know how you have been an advocate on this whole galamsey issue. You have actually said that every government should be able to fight galamsey. You are not seeing it. Last week when you came in, you did mention that you are not seeing the fight with the NDC. Now, we have seen this raid happen. We are hearing people like Erastus come on social media to commend the military and the Ghana police for their fight and also the government. Do you think that the revocation of Akonta Mining's license is actually a step in the right direction?
Well, first of all, I would like to say good morning to you and my co-panelists and to all viewers out there this morning, and then to the movement and all its leadership. Well, like I said, there is no smoke without fire. And if government comes to say they have revoked the license of Akonta Mining, obviously maybe it is due to some intelligence or some information they've gathered on the ground that suggests that he is actually engaged and doing what the paper or what the minister suggested to us. Now, like I said earlier on, this fight against galamsey didn't just start with the NDC government. I think before Mahama even left office, galamsey started to rear its ugly head, and we've all seen the devastation effect of galamsey. how it has actually destroyed our water bodies, and how it is also bringing a lot of babies with various deformities in other communities. Now, they did their best to fight galamsey. They couldn't win because, like I keep saying, poverty has engulfed the nation. Joblessness has engulfed the nation, and it's about survival of the fittest. That is how Ghana society has become. Now, when Nana Akufo-Addo took over, he actually even went to the extent of putting his presidency on the line. But to what end? It never achieved any result because the scheme around the galamsey issue is top-down system. It is not a bottom-up system where maybe the poor ones at the bottom, they are the ones actively involved. It is the top-notch who are the ones financing the activities at the base. So if you don't go after those at the top and the focus is those at the bottom, and those at the bottom are the suffering ones, are the poor ones, and they say who is already down fears no fall. That is why I realized that nobody is able to succeed in this fight against galamsey. Now, we are here again hearing that Akunta Mining's license has been revoked. My only concern is that it shouldn't be selective justice, where out of political vindictiveness, you go after people because you want to soil their reputation, or you are looking for some straw to clutch on. Therefore, you are trying to behave as if you are going after the big pains who are actively involved in galamsey by trying to use Akunta Mining as a scapegoat. When I read it, I just laughed and I knew this is just a system to create an impression to hoodwink Ghanaians into believing that NDC is actually going after the big guys. But then, I want to see what the outcome, because Woon to me or Akunta Mining also come to debunk the allegation that they are actually not mining any Aboer forest. They have not sold any concession for 300,000. They haven't done it. That means that everything the minister has come to say, they have actually debunked it.
Okay.
So now, if they have debunked it, who is telling the truth?
If they've debunked it and their license has been revoked, then the right thing to do is to go to court, right? Yeah,
so I heard in a statement issued by Woon to me that he's looking forward to the lands minister taking the issue to court. So I don't know whether Akunta Mining...
Is it the lands minister to take it to court, or he takes the lands minister? I think
Akunta Mining should be one taking the issue to court.
Exactly.
He should be the one taking the issue to court. But like I said, there will be a lot of banter with this issue, and we are not going anywhere with this galamsey fight if everybody is not brought on the table.
But you and I know that a neutral person, Erastus Asare Donko, who belongs to the multimedia, actually made us aware that Akunta Mining was mining in certain reserves that he was not permitted to. And he showed us, you know, video evidences, picture evidence and all of that. And so if now we are seeing the NDC saying that they are revoking Akunta Mining's license, do we still think that it's just a witch hunt?
No, what I'm saying is that, like I initially stated, that there is no smoke without fire.
Okay.
We've all been around and we know the activities of Akunta Mining. Akunta Mining issue came into the limelight some time back, and President Akufo-Addo then debunked it and said Akunta Mining is never involved in any illegal mining activities anywhere. But even the gesture, the utterances of the owner of Akunta Mining itself suggests that he's actively involved in mining. And his license has been issued to him legally. He had a legal license to operate. So if you say that there are some excesses or he's overstepping his boundaries, therefore you are at least revoking his license, then you could be right because of the excesses. Because according to the LI, if you have been given a license to operate, you have a jurisdiction. You have the regulation that is governing your activities, the do's and the don'ts. So if Akunta Mining, because then his government was in power, he was overstepping his boundaries by doing some excesses, reselling concessions, doing this, doing that, and there is sufficient evidence to suggest that all the allegations leveled against him is true, then it is in the right direction that his license will be revoked.
Okay.
So that they will really look into the activities of Akunta Mining to say whether it conforms with the rules and regulation of the mining sector or not. But if we also just want to do like, oh, we have revoked the license and it ends on the face of it, then we are not really doing good to Ghana, because you see, we are in Ghana and we hear one story. Once the story gets overshadowed by another one, what we heard initially is actually just swept under the carpet. So my belief is that this issue of Akunta Mining's license should be revoked. Shouldn't be a one-day wonder.
Right.
They should really look into it and see whether actually there have been some excesses. If there are excesses and his license has been revoked, fair enough. He can go through the legal processes and have his license reinstated. But then again, like I said, it is not only Akunta Mining that is actively involved in galamsey. There are others there. I would have wished that the minister would say to us that they have revoked the licenses of this number of mining companies who are actively involved in galamsey. And then in the list that will be put out, Akunta Mining will find itself there.
Okay.
But if you just single out Akunta Mining, is the land minister trying to suggest to us that upon all the destruction that is going on in our forest and our river body, it is only Akunta Mining that is going against the law?
Okay, all right.
That is my only question.
Okay, that's your question. Thank you so much. Now, Derek, let me bring you into the conversation. Richard has actually asked a question, which everybody at home will be asking the same question, especially you being a part of the NPP, you're asking the same question. Do you think that on the side of the NDC, there are some individuals who are licensed to mine and they might be doing something similar that Akunta Mining is doing, however, the government is not going after them?
Okay, a very good morning to your cherished viewers and listeners out there. When we ask that whether or not there are members of the NDC doing similar to what Akunta Mining is doing, and yet the government hasn't gone after it, I may not be able to speak to that fact because it hasn't been established that Akunta Mining is engaging in any illegality. I mean, for the purposes of records, documents prove or shows that Akunta Mining is a registered large-scale mining company which is mining legally and not illegally. But how did we get here as a nation? That has been the conversation in my mind, that, you see, matters that affect us as a people shouldn't be politicized. And the devastating effect of galamsey on our water bodies and then in our rivers, it's something that we haven't grasped yet. And so that is how come we politicize these conversations. In any case, the people that we are looking up to, the people that we are calling on to come and salvage our plight as a nation, Erastus has been crying for the last 7 years, and with the hope that the National Democratic Congress, led by Honorable Kofi Amabua, heading the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, is in to salvage the plight and save us from the hands of galamseyers. And we find the minister sit on live television and then he's crying. Are the people we calling on to help salvage our plight throwing their hands in despair? But what has Akunta Mining done? Every single allegation that the minister leveled against them, they have written a statement to debunk every single one of them. People make documentaries, but after the documentary, have you invited them officially to have a conversation? On what grounds are you revoking their licenses? Because a documentary was made. I mean,
well, that's not what they said. So please let me give you the details of what was said. Now, this is what they said. They said that. One second, I'll give you. Okay, so there was a raid. Okay, now there was it was a raid armed with intel on the eve of Good Friday, 17th of April 2025, an intelligence-led operation. So it was an operation by the Ghana Police Service and the Forestry Commission led to the raid of 6 illegal mining sites linked to Akunta Mining. Now, so it's not a documentary. They did a raid. Okay, so in the raid, what the minister said was that the raid actually started at 5 a.m. and lasted for 12 hours. Now, this is what they got. They got 51 arrests of 8 Chinese men, 39 Ghanaian men, and 4 Ghanaian women. Out of that, they seized 30 excavators, 5 recovered and impounded at the operation base. They seized 2 pump-action guns loaded with 5 and 2 rounds of BB cartridge each and 1 single-barrel gun retrieved. Also, they confiscated 2 Toyota Hilux pickup, 1 Toyota RAV4, 4 motorbike, and stash of mining equipment. These are things they see. So it's not out of documentary.
Admitted, but I'm saying that 6 illegal mining sites that suspects to be linked to Akonta mining.
Yeah.
We are in this country that we appreciate the fact that even in 2022, Akonta mining wrote to the Environmental Protection Agency that as part of their efforts to begin their large-scale mining, illegal miners have encroached their lands, and then they've dug dangerous pits and holes, and so they may want to reclaim the lands before they begin their activity. And as part of that, about 18,000 coconut trees were planted. So I am saying that in as much as there is a presumption that the illegal mining site is linked to Akonta mining, what establishes that fact? Is it because the galamseyers are saying, the owner behind Akonta mining is a known political actor. In 2013, his company, Hansol Company Limited, suffered similar fate, and he claimed that his excavators were burnt. Is that what we are doing to combat the illegal mining? When we are living in this country, Erastus reported that when they raided a particular mining site, the constituency chairman purported to belong to the NDC, met them with their men, and then they beat down the security operatives that were with their team. And what has been done about that constituency chairman? If we are fighting galamsey, we need to fight it holistically. Because I've always argued that when our water bodies are destroyed, it knows no color.
Do you know which area this happened in?
I'll cross-check the facts and get it back to you.
Yes. Have it. Because I haven't heard of, that.
I'll cross-check the facts and get it back to you.
I heard of the fact that, yes, there was a stoppage where the man said that he was not in the known of the raid, and so the raid was stopped so they could seek permits and come back and do the raid.
I'll get that fact for you. I'll get that fact for you. But I've always maintained and said that galamsey, the devastating effect of galamsey knows no political party color. And so in our quest to combat galamsey, we should do it appropriately so that it doesn't appear as a political witch hunt. Because both political parties are vindictive. Take it or leave it, we are all vindictive. And so if it happens today that because NDC is in power, same was done in 2013, and today we are doing same. If the NPP comes into power, they may also want to turn the same trajectory. And that is not a proper way for the ordinary Ghanaian.
Yeah.
And if we are really active and committed to fighting these galamsey, it is not a matter of crying on live television. When His Excellency President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo gave his last State of the Nation's address, we had the same Honorable Member Kofi Ababua telling His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who in 8 years has done so much in the fight of galamsey, but just as my brother said, it is a matter of livelihood. And so the people, in as much as you may shoot, you may want to kill them, you may want to do or fight galamsey in whatever way, since their livelihood depends on what they are doing, it becomes a difficult fight. You called him and you attributed to him that what he has done will tell everybody how not to govern a country. And you as a sector minister, in just 4 months, you are crying on live television. Is that what you promised Ghanaians? Is that what you said you are doing to fight galamsey? Please, we can do better than these witch hunts and political vindictiveness and victimization. Other than that, the fight of galamsey will be a moot. We wouldn't make any progress as a nation. If you are really committed to this fight of galamsey, we should do it well and do it properly. I mean, there are people who are also affiliates of NDC. They may not be party members of the NDC, who are affiliates of NDC, doing what it is purported that Akonta mining is doing. What has been done about those people? Those who are engaged in the real illegal mining that is destroying our water bodies. What has been done about them?
That's why I actually asked you initially if you know of any, because, in this Ghana that we live in, once somebody is affiliated to a certain political party, we'll call it a witch hunt. And so if you know any that is in the NDC that is doing something similar, we can call those people out. And I like that you said you don't know yet. Maybe you get to that fact later. But we can call these people out and say, listen, the NDC, this person is doing this and doing that. Why are you not going after that person, but rather you are going after this person? Hence, we struggle to say it's really a witch hunt. Richard.
No, you see, the point is that there are several factors of this. Because of the position the owner of Akonta Mining has occupied over a certain period of time, being the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. And as vocal as he himself has been, obviously the public attention has been on him. If you look within the NDC fraternity, admittedly, they themselves have agreed to it that there are kingpins within their system who are also actively involved in mining, legal mining, because they've been licensed to mine. When the person has been licensed to mine, it's a legal mining. The illegal mining will only suggest that you are mining in a specific area that you have not been entitled to, or you are actually involved in this alluvial mining where you've not received any license at all, but you are using your own powers to go somewhere, dig out something, wash something, and eat something, alluvial. But you see, as at now in Ghana, we cannot single-handedly pinpoint or suggest direct that we have this member of the NDC who is actively involved in galamsey at a certain level. But if you look at the NPP fraternity, we had their former women organizer, is it Madam Kate Jemfua, we had Wuntumi himself, and a couple of guys who
were into mining.
We're into mining, yes, we're into mining, like I said, licensed and legal mining. But maybe their activities may go contrary to what the law stipulates or asks them to do. Maybe mining properly, filling after you have mined, don't wash your product in the water body, because the fight we are fighting, it is not just about the mining.
Yeah.
If it is about the mining, like you were saying that Kunta mining went to plant coconut and all those things, you can destroy the forest and we can reclaim it by any means necessary. Yeah. And it may not affect livelihood. But what is the problem is that they are destroying the same water that generations after us will have to come and depend on. If it is just about the land, there is nothing to worry about. But the extent at which they are moving their soil or whatever they have dug from the ground and going to wash it on the water body, that is the problem.
That's what the problem is.
And there are some who are actually doing the mining itself. The chamfans are actually situated on the water or in the river. So I would have wished that to combat galamsey, they should go after those ones that are actually mining in the rivers. The ones that are mining outside the river, find a nice way of at least regulating them and giving them the proper tutorials as to how they can do proper mining.
What do you think about what do you think about, you know, they saying that in their findings they realized that a part of the Aboy Forest Reserve had been sold to illegal miners for a staggering 300,000.
They said it has been sold by Akunta Mining. Yes. And Akunta is debunking that claim. So who actually sold it?
What if it's true?
They are also saying that this is the Lands Commission who is responsible for the forest. So could it be that the Lands Commission apparatchiks are the ones behind selling those concessions without the knowledge of Akunta Mine? At the end of the day, they will turn out and blame it on Akunta Mine. You see, me, I follow issues, I don't follow people. And we must have conversation based on facts. You see, we want to build a nation that generations will come and take it over from us. Because, see, Ghana didn't start from us. Mr. Rosley, you are here, Rosley, you are here, I'm here, is here. Ghana started before all of us were born. We will come and go and Ghana will still exist. So what we are fighting for is that generations after us, what are we bequeathing to them? So if the fight is against galamsey, then it should be holistic. We should change the mining law. This mineral law that really says that the power is invested in the president. Every mineral found in any corner of Ghana automatically becomes that of the state. It is absolutely wrong. And like I said, the chiefs who are also the custodians of the land, some of them, excuse me to say, are poor. They also don't have so much resources. So who will be sitting down in his community knowing that gold is sitting there, and then they'll be waiting for government to come and issue a license before they can mine?
Would we have been happy if this raid had happened not on Akunta Mining and we had mentioned an unknown, company where we don't know who is behind its name? Would we have been happy and not go the trajectory that we think that it could be witch hunting?
Yeah, that is what exactly I'm saying, that it should be a holistic approach. They should have done a further detailed operation. Well, maybe Akunta issue is just one of the ordinary. But then again, if you single out only Akunta Mining, then that could be looked at as witch hunting.
Okay.
But if you have done a detailed operation, it's okay. Or even you wait, you have gotten information about Akunta. What are you doing to pick intelligence on other activities in the forest? So you do a swoop on all other ones, and then you do a holistic press conference and tell her that within a period of 1 week or 2 weeks, we've been able to do A, B, C, D. Why? Anytime they say they are reclaiming some forest, don't Erastus come and say that, oh, we published that this is going on in this area and government are zooming and they've been able to reclaim the forest. So all we are asking is that why only Akuntan mining but not the rest? Because if you single out only Akuntan mining, then that one you are making a mistake.
Okay.
You are making a mistake.
Right, Derek. You want to make a... Okay, let's actually watch the video of where we saw the lands minister tell us that Akuntan mining's license has been revoked.
Manuel Alma of Ibua broke down after watching a clip of the devastation caused to rivers and forest reserves by galamsey activities. He says he's overwhelmed by the level of destruction meted on the environment by these illegal miners.
I was emotional. I couldn't, I've watched that video after the operations. I watched that video, and every time I watch it, I get emotional because I cannot believe that we have Ghanaian citizens that would decide that this is how they are going to make money. And I believe every Ghanaian should be emotional as I am. I was trying to avoid it. But...
Giving details on the findings by the ministry, he said Akuntan Mining Company is not only engaging in galamsey activities, but also selling concession in their boy forest to illegal miners for money.
Well, so this is what he said. He's actually very sad about it. Derek.
Okay, so back to what I needed to prove.
Yeah.
That is in the Dunkwao.
Okay, that's fine.
Dunkwao. That was where they had the first fight with the military, claiming that they were not consulted. Just as I was saying, galamsey is affecting us. What are we doing about those mining in our water bodies, those destroying our rivers? Maybe these politicians may be able to afford imported waters, but my people in the Chima can't afford imported waters. My people in Bantama can't afford imported waters. And so if government is really committing to the fight against galamsey, we must do it well. I mean, nobody is against the fight against galamsey, especially if the people involved are politicians. I mean, if that is the way they think they can make their money, they shouldn't do so at the expense of the ordinary Ghanaian, whom they have sworn to defend and protect. But if we go on this trajectory, especially when you are studying criminal law, the basic is about natural justice. What is the ministry doing, or what did they do about this natural justice? What fair hearing have they given the Akuntan mining? If it is only about fighting galamsey on the lands, I don't think that we need this fight. We are serious about this fight because of its devastating effect on our water bodies. Me seated here, I can't afford imported water. And so that is why I am crying against illegal mining. That is why I want an end to this illegal mining. But if it becomes a selective justice, if in broad daylight, we have people who are known to be NDC, like the matter in Dunkwao, in a fist fight against the government team and then the military, and to date, not even an arrest or any action has been taken against such a person. Are we really committed to the fight of galamsey, or we are being selective because we feel that when politicians have money, they pump into political parties and then they win elections? And so let's go after those who we think that they are influential in their party and then they are resourceful, especially when they are licensed and are mandated legally to mine. Is that how we want to come back to the illegal mining? And I say again, that if the people that we are looking up to salvage our plight are throwing their hands in despair, and telling us they get emotional.
He didn't throw his hands in despair.
But you tell us...
Let's get it right. No, there's a difference between I'm throwing my hands in despair, I can't do anything, and I've seen a video, I'm emotional about it, but we are going to fight and get a solution to it.
What is the solution? Revoking his license. And that is the solution to the illegal mining that we are facing as a country.
We've seen the rate that has started. And, you know, like I said earlier, we have a neutral person, Erastus Asare Donko, who just last week or last 2 weeks, we had him on air, and he spoke about the fact that the fight was not being done. Now, just last week when the raid started, the same person goes on social media and commends the military and the police for the raid and that there is something being done. So if you see the minister sit on TV, the fact that the minister cried does not mean that he put his hand in despair.
Oh, he threw his hands in despair. We've been crying for 7 years. Erastus has been crying on social media for 7 years. That is the reason why the MPP was voted out of government. I mean, one of the reasons. Galamsey is part of the reasons. And we have a sector minister who described the activities of His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo in this combat against Galamsey as how not to govern a country. And you sit on live television and you are crying because the lands are being destroyed. And so, Minister, you are crying. So if a minister is crying, what should I, Kwadwo do? If a minister with all the state resources, with all the security apparatus, you are crying, what should I do? I am saying that the fight, every activity leading to the fight of Galamsey is one that we all will commend. But if it is all about military raiding, the MPP did same. If it is all about water guards, the MPP launched water guards, and even speedboats were delivered to them to help in this fight. But it is a matter of livelihood. People's life depend on this Galamsey. And so we must look at it holistically and not make it seem like a political witch hunt, because if it becomes a political witch hunt, when the MPP is seated here, they will go every extent to defend their people. When the NDC sits here, they will go every extent to commend and defend their people involved in Galamsey. And at the end of the day, it is the one who doesn't belong to the political class. And even if you belong to the political class, your level may not be up to those who can import water. And then what service are we rendering to the ordinary Ghanaian who can't afford a single sachet water, talk less of bottled waters imported from wherever you may want to import from? And so if government is committed to the fight of Galamsey, enough of the theatrics, enough of the populism approach.
What do you want to see?
I as an ordinary Ghanaian, want to see that in the event Erastus post, I mean, because for 7 years, he has been consistent on the announcements of issues of Galamsey and what have you. If Erastus posts about the fact that there is a distraction in this part of the country, for instance, the Dunkwa issue, a whole constituency chairman, known to be belonging to the NDC, meets military men and their team that they were not consulted in this raid. They have a nation, they have a fist, and today, till today, not a single arrest has been made. Not a single arrest has been made, because he is purported to be belonging to a political party. If we go on that trajectory, how do we fight this Galamsey? And you see, it has gotten severe, or it is really getting out of hand because of how we politicize this issue. Because if we had then MPs who are now sector ministers writing on their X account, writing on their Facebook saying that His Excellency and other than Akufo-Addo, the military apparatus can end Galamsey in 1 week. President Mahama has been in power over 100 days. 100 days, if my maths are not right, it is more than 10 weeks. What has he done about it? What happened to the state of emergency? What happened to we revoking all licensing and auditing them? What happened to all those things? And so if we really want to fight Galamsey, fine. If they knew that the state of emergency would have a dire effect on our economy, why were they calling for that? Were they being hypocritical about the fight against Galamsey? Were they being political about the fight against Galamsey? We had the likes of Tony Obin and Kwaku Boahen speaking to Galamsey, yes. Now, the minds, Africans or humans in general, we have a sense of entitlement. And so the fact that we made people believe that when we assume the reins of power, you'll be mandated or you'll be given the opportunity to mine. That is why we are where we are today. Because people feel that it is our time. People feel that and so we have the prerogative now to mine because MPP was doing it.
But if the MPP lost power because the fight against Galamsey wasn't that good, like you said, it was one of the reasons why you lost power, why would the NDC want to do same and lose power?
Because the political class do not learn.
Okay.
It is a matter of 4 years. And so if in 4 years I would make $1 million and the party goes into opposition, I may be able to survive on it. And that is why we are where we are today. The only thing the MPP didn't do is a state of emergency.
So what you're trying to say is that politicians don't care?
Maybe if there are no better words, we may allude to that. But you see, I am saying that the only thing the MPP didn't do is to declare a state of emergency. And so if we are really committed to this fight of Galamsey, there should be a state of emergency.
Richard, do politicians...
You see, yeah, like he said, there are big wigs out there who are actively involved in galamsey. And we should be talking about short-term, medium-term, and a long-term approach to combating galamsey. And like I keep saying that, because of the system we run, survival of the fittest, everybody has to survive, including the chiefs, including the politician, including the youth out there who is seeing the politician live a flamboyant life, a lavish lifestyle, and he doesn't have bread and butter. There are people in this country who are going to bed without food in their stomach. So if I live in a mining enclave, what happened in Obuasi? The youth at a point in time, a concession belonging to Obuasi mine, Obuasi Goldfield, has been abandoned. They are not mining there. But because they claim it's a concession that belongs to a certain company, nobody can trespass there. Now, what did the youth do? They armed themselves, went there, at least to fight for survival. What did it end up in? In a complete chaos. People lost their lives. So all I'm saying is that we should try and sit down and find out the people who are in the mining enclave. I have asked the last time, do we have a data? Do we have a data to suggest that we have 1,000 of our Ghanaian youth actively involved in galamsey? Do we have the data? We don't have the data, so we are just shouting at the rooftop every day. We are combating galamsey. We are launching the Blue Water Brigade. We are doing this. It's all ad hoc. It's all ad hoc. Until, because Ghana, excuse me to say, mining is not actively happening in Volta region. Mining is not actively happening in Greater Accra. We know the regions that mining is actively happening, don't we? Out of the 16 region, we know. So why don't we have a data? Can anybody tell me today that we have 1 million of our Ghanaian youth involved in galamsey? Do we have the data to show that? No data. So if you don't have the data, how are you going to combat galamsey? We need, by now, should be developing a comprehensive database. Uko Ashanti Regional, we have developed a data that suggests that in this enclave, there are 1,000 Ghanaian youth out there who are involved in the mining. Therefore, if you want to provide them an alternative means of survival, we are going to put you into A, put you into space B, so you are supposed to stop galamsey. If you are actively involved in it and you are caught, this is the punishment that is going to be meted out to you. And our punishment is also not it's not strong enough to deter people from mining or involved in galamsey. Because look, we catch people today involved in galamsey, they put them in a police station, some phone calls come from above, they are discharged, and the issue ends there. How do you survive and combat galamsey, my dear sister? You cannot. We are only lying to ourselves that we are fighting galamsey. You see, like I said, Nana Akufo-Addo meant well, because you see the way the minister came and be crying, claiming his cry is emotional. It is the same emotion that Nana Akufo-Addo has. That is why he went to the extra length of saying, I am putting my presidency on the line. That even should that be the reason why you don't want to retain me in office, so be it. Was that not the idea behind it? But what happened? Nana Akufo-Addo cannot sit in Jubilee House and micromanage every member of the NPP. Therefore, there are activities that are happening within the illegal mining space which may not even come to his attention. Even if he himself wants to fight it, knowing it very well, there are people within the system who also tell you that, Chairman, pause, don't go too far, because our people are surviving there. So if you go too far, it's going to affect you. So that's why I'm saying that we should start looking at developing a comprehensive database, because it is the youth. If the youth have something meaningful to do, why should the Chinese man come and give them 100 cedis and lure them to follow them into the mining pit?
But they will tell you that the money they make in mining is way more than, a 9-to-5 job.
No, let me tell you, there are people who are doing the mining. They are young Ghanaians who are actively involved in the mining. It is a one-off victory thing. You don't go to galamsey pit and every day you are guaranteed of success. It is one-off victory thing. You struggle, sometimes they even not get one blade. And how much is one blade? One blade is even less than 100 Ghana cedis. A blade, a small, that blade, they call it blade, is very small. So what I'm saying is that if you, assuming we have state farms, okay? We have state farms. Sugarcane plantation, palm plantation, coconut plantation. What did Singapore do? Singapore never had palm plantation. They came to Ghana because they knew they don't have minerals. They are looking at alternative means of boosting their GDP. By so doing, they are creating environments for their young ones to take advantage of. But you see, right now we are here. John Mahama said they want to do Nkuko, Nkiti, or whatever. They want to launch the project in the north. I'm betting my last penny that in Bono, there are many Ghanaian youths who will not even know the secretariat, where to even start from, where to even benefit from. So our NCC, our civic education institution, are not being used enough to educate us on government policies and programs. You only hear NCC actively involved in educating us when it's time for election. So why are we doing this to ourselves? Until we find a short-term, medium-term, and a long-term solution to combating galamsey, John Mahama can come with all his NDC apparatchiks, do all the nice talking, all the beautiful talking, go after Akunta mining, claim we are emotional, we can't sleep, we can't eat, we can't even sleep with our wives because of galamsey. At the end of the day, to not go anywhere, we will still be running in circles until we find a means of putting our people into productive use. Productive use and paying them, let's say, a minimum daily wage of 50 Ghana cedis. And the person knows that I am working on the Ghana State Farm. We are growing cocoa, we are growing sugarcane, and my daily wage is 50 Ghana cedis. At the end of the day, if every week I am making 500, 600 Ghana cedis, at least you are giving them an option. So if you give them an option and they fail to go with the option and they go by at least going completely against the law with impunity, you go after them. Those ones, when you arrest them, you parade them at Independence Square and lash them.
Oh, that's what you think should happen?
No, you see, we should be drastic. You see, Ghana, we like to pamper ourselves too much.
So do you agree with the shoot and kill?
Of course.
Is it shoot to kill?
Shoot to kill. If that will be the reason why fear will be planted in people, look, like he said, even in the white country, look, it is not that if they get, they will not misbehave. Everybody, when they get, they will misbehave. Until you are able to find a way to control human beings, you are not going anywhere. Because human beings, they are like water. A flowing stream. It's difficult for you to control it. If you block it from here, it will find another way to move. So until we find a holistic approach by making sure we provide them alternative. If I give you alternative and I say, look, I have given you alternative, more Ashanti region, this is the alternative. Project A is here, project B is there, project C is here. We are paying you this amount of money. Don't be involved in galamsey. Go here, and you refuse to go, and we arrest you. What are you expecting me to do? We'll beat you left, right, front, center. Tomorrow you won't go there.
Do you agree, Derek?
Yes, to the large extent, I do agree. But I'm saying, before we'll be able to have this data, before we'll be able to audit these sites, before we'll be able to have a complete understanding of the effect on galamsey, a state of emergency is necessary. Let us declare a state of emergency on all mining sites, whether legal or illegal. Let's assess the value of their licensing. Let's assess the people over there, put a comprehensive data together, and then we can roll out these short-term projects, these long-term projects, so that at the end of the day, our waters may be able to be treated. At the end of the day, those who are living in mining communities, I have a colleague who is a teacher who sent me a video. I'll find it and share it with you. And then he sent me a video of about 100 meters behind his room, and the mining is ongoing. That is how dangerous it has become. That is how severe the issues of galamsey has become. And you see, it is sad that the people who are always in the pits, they are working for people who. Some are paid about 400 cedis in a day, 200 cedis in a day to do what they do for these big people. And so if we declare a state of emergency, fine, to some extent, for the week or two, their livelihood becomes a problem, but it is for our own good. It is for the betterment of everybody in Ghana, and not just at the expense of we who haven't seen gold before, who do not intend to have anything to do with gold, who do not intend to trade in gold, but because of their greed, their selfishness, their interest in making money overnight, they do so at the expense of us. And so if we go through all these processes and yet people go into these mining areas to do galamsey at the expense of us, just as I'm quoting the former Deputy Speaker Joe Wise, we shoot to kill.
Okay, so I'm going on Facebook to read a few messages there. Today, I don't want you to send your messages to us on WhatsApp. Send it to us on Facebook, okay? So for those of you who have sent your messages to us on WhatsApp already, let's channel the energy onto Facebook. I'm going on Facebook to read a few comments. Musa Abatwa says that President Mahama is absolutely right to say we are turning the corner towards economic recovery in just 100 days. His leadership has already shown remarkable progress from abolishing nuisance taxes that burden citizens and businesses to laying down a clear path towards sustainable economic recovery. His commitment to economic dialogue shows inclusive approach to reviving the economy. These bold fundamental steps are exactly what the country needs to rebuild a resilient economy. Otopas Tony says, this guy is not from Ghana. He's a politician. He keep off. Okay. Otopas continues to say, JDM is working and he should keep off, allow the president to work. All right, we should allow the president to work. We hear you. Elijah K. Mensah says, how do you eradicate illegal mining when politicians in the country are not innocent and financing the poor to extract these natural resources with harmful chemicals? Majority of our aimless politicians are involved in mining. Presidents should sit up and act amicably. Chiefs are in support of illegal mining as well, and later turn around pretending as if they knew nothing. Okay, he says shameful leaders with frog hearts. Dr. Michael, Remedial College says, a nice move. Jack K. Jack, Madam, please call Erastus to update this guy on galamsey. They keep on repeating themselves. In fact, they are not discussing the issue. All right, so we'll try and raise Erastus, okay? Since you are calling on Erastus, we'll try and do that for you. Fake Up Batuk says, good morning, Madam Host. The minister only wept for the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ and not for the purpose of stopping galamsey activities. He should implement his party campaign promise of declaring a state of emergency if he really means well. Greetings to my people in Bimbagu. Okay, so Mr. Minister Honorable Amakofi Boa, it looks like people are saying that he should declare state of emergency if you wept. If it's that bad for you to weep, then we should see a state of emergency to fix the problem. Master Planner Junior Kintempo says the galamsey fight is still on course, but President Mahama and his NDC are using the same old tactics, so there is nothing new he is bringing on board. This was not what he promised us, and Master Planner says so. Timothy Annabella says, good morning, Roslyn. The revocation of Akunta mining's license is a step in the right direction. Given their alleged involvement in illegal mining, that's galamsey. However, considering the widespread destruction of forest reserves and water bodies, I propose a more comprehensive approach, revoking all mining licenses issued during the Akufo-Addo administration and conducting thorough investigations into these companies. It is this that we will establish the fact that it was after Akufo-Addo's issuance of these licenses that we saw massive degradation of our water bodies and forest reserves. Those found guilty of environmental degradation should face punishment. Timothy Annabella. Thank you so much, Timothy. Master Planner Junior Kintampo comes back and says that no, he is the same thing that he sent earlier. So I'll go to Isaac Addo. He said, hey, Amakofi Boa, I thought your punishment for insulting former President Akufo-Addo would delay in a bit. This is a timely reminder of how not to weep. You are, okay. Okay, Alhaji Hamza Mohammed, he says, Ahaji Hamza Pig Farm, good morning, Roslyn. In fact, I'm so disappointed in the comments of the two panelists. Why are you disappointed? Okay, he said, my dear, if this is being described as witch hunting, then so be it. If witches are out, they are destroying our forest reserves and our water bodies. They should witch hunt. The action by these people is nothing but an act of terrorism against the state. Fighting galamseyers did not only did not on Chairman Wontumi. Over 100 galamseyers have already been deported. So today, if it's Akonta Mining, what is wrong about that? The revocation of the license of Akonta Mining has been long overdue. How wicked can we be in this country? If members of NDC are also involved in this act, they should equally be arrested and prosecuted. This is a serious act of terrorism against the state, and they must not be treated with kid gloves. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm. Now, if you are joining us, know that you can leave your comments on Facebook, and that's where today I'm reading all my comments from. So I'm not going to be reading it on WhatsApp. So channel the energy to Facebook. If you are wondering what the name of Facebook is, it's Joy Prime TV. Joy Prime TV. Just go on there and you see we're streaming live right now, and leave your comments there. Still on the fight against galamsey. But then, you know, talking about that, the minority actually wrote a letter. I don't know if any of you heard about it, telling the majority that they are crippling the mining sector. Have you heard about it, Richard?
Yes, I saw a gist of it, but I haven't read the entire.
Okay, so it looks like it's coming at the back of certain, measures that have been put in place by the majority, that's the NDC government. And the MPs criticized 2 new tax measures, a 3% growth and sustainability levy on gross mining volumes introduced in 2025, and another levy set to take effect from 2026 to 2028. These royalty-like levies are putting several mines already in distress into graver financial difficulties, and this is what the minority say. But do you think that these levies or taxes that are being put on these foreign companies in Ghana is going to help in any way?
No, yeah.
Just a brief one.
Yeah, just a brief one. I want to let one of your viewers who mentioned that we are repeating ourselves and all this. On this issue of galamsey, what does he want us to say again? On this issue of galamsey, what does he want us to say? He's sitting in his house. What is his opinion about this, that he thinks is a solution to the problem? If he thinks he has the solution, he should write an article on it. He should put it out and let us all read it and read his solution. He shouldn't say we are repeating ourselves, because we have been saying this over and over and over again, and nothing seems to be happening. So what else does he want us to say? So I will only want to say that if that is the approach we want to go, then we should stop talking about galamsey and leave it just like that. We should leave it and stop worrying ourselves to talk about galamsey. A solution has to be provided. We have a dire situation, and we are talking about generations after us. What are we bequeathing to them? And if it is an approach of just revoking people's license, fair, so be it. Then they should go and revoke all licenses. They should revoke all small-scale mining licenses. Like he's saying, if there should be a state of emergency declared in all mining enclave, they should go ahead and do it drastic way. But if it is this way of democracy approach of Kabinamin Kebi, Uka Media, Wisumeke Media, so where is going to be the center line? Where are we going to draw the line? Unless the military is telling me that, look, if this fight we could have won it with the military, didn't Major Mahama died because we wanted to combat galamsey with the military approach? What happened? That gentleman just lost his life.
Don't we have different military leaderships now?
We have, but like I said, that gentleman just lost his life for nothing. He lost his life for nothing. Because today we are still talking about galamsey. So, well, let me come back to this issue of taxes. Already, we claim we are the largest exporter of gold. After South Africa is Ghana, but I think Ghana now has even overtaken South Africa. The largest gold deposit in Africa is in Ghana. But the question we must ask ourselves, have we really benefited from the gold that God has deposited here? Have we benefited from it? Go to Obuasi, go to Takwa, go to Bogosu, go to Damai, go to all the mining enclave where they are doing legitimate mining, where we have concessions given to white companies to mine. What have we benefited from them? What is their corporate social responsibility? What have they given back to the community that they are operating from? Zero. And we also have this foreign retention agreement that allows them to keep over 90% of their profit abroad. So they mine from here, they sell to the international market, the profit they make, they keep it there. So at the end of the day, your dollar is not strong. And you claim you are one of the largest exporters of gold. Are you not being fooled? So if you can introduce new taxes that is targeting some of these mining activities to collect more from them and plow into other productive sectors, why not?
You like it?
I like it. I'm 100% for it.
Okay.
Even if you have to re-sit on the table with them and go for a 60-40 approach where the mining companies you have done with, even Sudan, it's a 50-50 deal. Even Sudan that they are fighting, you mine gold in Sudan, the mining company 50%, the state owns 50%. But here in Ghana, just about 10%.
So you actually don't agree with the minority with regards to the letter that they
No. Why would I agree with them? Because you see, we need money. We need money. The country needs money. So you don't sit back and allow people to milk you and you take a little from them.
They claim that they are sucking the foreign investors.
You are not sucking them. You see, the issue is that in every situation, it might be a win-win situation. The state must benefit. Look, why are we not going for a merger? Why are we not going for strategic partnership? All the money we are throwing away left, right, front, center. How much does it cost to set up a gold mining company in Ghana? How much? How much is an excavator that the state cannot buy excavator? How much is setting up a conveyor belt? How much is refining? Let us be realistic in this country that we should be talking about strategic partners. Okay, we have the gold seated in their mine. Okay, you are the foreign investor. Come, 50% of the total cost of setting up the factory is going to be $2 million. You bring $1 million, the state will also invest $1 million. You do the day-to-day running of the company. At the end of the day, we are not involved in the day-to-day. But when you are declaring profit, you take 50%, we take 50%.
Okay. You know, Derek, let me bring you into the conversation. Minority.
Yeah, so our leaders in Parliament, our members of Parliament, wrote on the increment in the percentage of the growth and sustainability levy. In as much as we may want to combat illegal mining, these taxes are demanded of those who are mining legally. And then, although we might think that the percentage is insignificant, but it has a direct effect on these mining companies. And so you see, I've always said that we may have to look at this fight holistically. Why am I saying so? On one breath, government says that the mining companies or legal large-scale mining companies like the Akonta mining, like Anglo Gold, like Goldfields, and the likes, your growth and sustainability levies have been increased to about 5%. What happens is that it affects the people who are working over there because their expenses are increasing as a company. And it trickles down to the ordinary person working in that company. But on one breath of this same government, we all know that our problem of this galamsey, it is because of these small-scale miners. But the 1.5% taxes on unprocessed goods from small-scale miners have been scrapped off. So what at all is this government doing in this whole galamsey issue? You see, you are burdening those who are doing it legally, those who are in the extractive sector, who are doing the mining legally, who are reclaiming our lands for us. Because this growth and sustainability levies, the idea is that to help in reclamation, to help in getting our lands back, to help in preserving our lands and all of that. And so, yes, we have increased the percentage of the tax that is supposed to be paid. But these companies also have a social responsibility of reclaiming our land. Just as Akonta Mining said that in 2022, they planted about 18,000 coconut trees. And so as part of their social responsibility or what is expected of them, they are doing that already. We are increasing their taxes.
Who is checking?
So that doesn't become the responsibility of the mining. That doesn't call for an increment in the taxes. What is EPA doing?
But what will the tax do for your country? Will it help your country grow?
It will help your country.
Exactly.
I'm not disputing that fact, that it will help your country. But the reason, I mean, every tax has a mandate. We knew what e-levy was used for. We knew what betting tax
No, we didn't know what e-levy was used for. Let's get it right. We knew why they collected e-levy. What it was used for, nobody was told.
So that is the point I'm making.
There's a difference.
There's a reason for every single tax that is introduced in our country. And so the growth and sustainability levies that are charged on these mining companies is to help reclaiming our lands. In any event, if the companies leave and they don't reclaim our lands, these monies that are taken from them will be used in the reclamation. But at the end of the day, the onus doesn't lie on them, the company, to provide records on what they have done. What is the EPA doing? What is the Forestry Commission doing? That is why we have them. And so it is their responsibility. My problem is that whenever there is an increment in a tax on a business, it affects the employees in that business. And that is why the minority is crying, because it is about the ordinary Ghanaian working for that legitimate company.
Let me ask you this as a Ghanaian. Let's take out political face or political colors. Are you happy with what we are supposed to make, the benefit that we make from these foreign companies as a country?
No. That's
we are not doing political.
We are not being political about it. Okay. I mean, why should a foreign company come into our country and the royalties is about, let's say, 15%, 20%?
Please go ahead.
The royalties are about 15%, 20%. And when they sell their produce outside of the country, they can even keep a percentage of their profit in those countries. And recently, it was announced that one of the foreign mining companies, instead of the agreements that they are to fulfill when it comes to matters of their social responsibility, they are buying mining companies outside of the country with those proceeds that they are making. And that is a cheat onto our economy. Yeah. That is not right that we are to enjoy as a Ghanaian. And so when it comes to what we benefit as a country, it is not right, but it is a matter of law. And so that is what our regulations are providing for. And so when
so when you go to power, are you not supposed to make sure that you do the right thing for your people?
So you see, everything that we do as a nation also hovers around international standards. And so we can, as a nation, can all come together and make a case that, look, this is what we demand for, this is what we want. But you see, our people are impoverished. And so when you make the things very stricter, they pass through their own corners and get the things the way they want it to be done. And so the reason for the MPP government decentralizing the issuance of licenses is all because of some of these things. Because if you don't give them the license, they'll be doing it illegally. And so we thought as a government that let's give them licenses so that we can be able to monitor them, and then we failed at that.
Were you able to?
That's why I said we failed at that.
All right.
And so we are not expecting that the same trajectory will be taken. But I'm saying that if we are increasing the growth and sustainability levy for these big companies to be able to reclaim our lands, protect our lands, plant trees and what have you, why do we then take off the 1% of unprocessed goods from these small-scale miners? When you and I know, seated in this studio, understands that the devastating effect of galamsey or on our water bodies and forests is largely by these small-scale miners. And so why are we encouraging them to do it more? Are we encouraging gold smuggling? What are we encouraging? Or is it because of the gold board that was set up in the record time?
Hold on. When it comes to small-scale miners, these are not illegal miners.
I'm not saying they are illegal.
Yes. So when you say gold smuggling and all of that, it's as though small-scale miners are engaged in that. Please, small-scale miners are legal miners. These are not people that you say that, oh, because they are mining, they are the reason for the galamsey.
But Rosalind, isn't it surprising that even if Akonta mining, that is a registered large-scale miner, that planted 18,000 coconut trees, is purported to have been engaged in illegal mining, how much more a small-scale miner that uses excavators and chamfines?
That's what I'm saying, that we ought to clamp down on the illegal miners, because they are small-scale miners who, small-scale miners, there's a difference. There's a difference between illegal mining and small-scale miners. There are people who are small-scale miners who might be engaging in illegal mining. But my point is, let us not mix the words, making it seem as though small-scale miners are all engaged in illegal mining.
No, I'm not saying that all small-scale miners...
No, because when you say things like, oh, gold smuggling, you know, making our water bodies dirty, then we are trying to make it seem as though small-scale miners are into illegal mining, all of them.
No, not all small-scale miners are into illegal mining, but I'm saying that when we mention small-scale mining, the ordinary Ghanaian treats it as galamsey. Whenever the name of small-scale mining is mentioned, what comes in mind to everybody is about galamsey, omoye galamsey. And so I am saying that if we are really serious about the combating of this illegal mining activities, this small-scale mining, and we are really concerned about protecting our lands and water bodies, why do we take off their 1.5% tax that they pay on unprocessed gold? Why? at the end of the day, we would have these illegal miners mixed with small-scale miners, and then they sell their goods, and then they trade in their goods without the state getting any direct or indirect benefit from these operations or these activities. Because you see, in as much as there are certain parts of the country that are cosmopolitan, Ghana or Africa, we trade on family ties. Assuming that I'm an illegal miner and my brother here is a small-scale miner and I get gold, I can get it to him and he sell it for me because he's a small-scale miner, legally licensed and registered. And if I can give him the 0.5%, that will make him okay. I will gladly do that, and then I'll make my way out. And so there's no point in we putting out measures. I feel that the measure should be even stricter, so that it doesn't look lucrative for the people to engage in.
All right. Okay. So let me read a few messages. I'll go on WhatsApp very soon. I just want to finish with the Facebook because I have a lot of messages coming in on Facebook, and then I'll go on WhatsApp to read the WhatsApp messages. I'll start with this one. I have so many messages on WhatsApp. Serum, Palmagrada or Palmagata? Okay. Good morning. What do the Ghanaians want? If government is doing nothing about this fight, we complain. Now the government is really putting up the fight too. We're still complaining. But Ghanaians don't know what they want. They can only talk and talk. Imuru Hassan says that whether Akunta mining or Asewu mining, all what we Ghanaians want is our forest reserves and water bodies to be safe. If in 80 years the best Nana Akufo-Addo could do is to grant miners permits into our forest reserves to mine, and you expect 4 months old government to clean the mess overnight, what a hypocrisy. Okay. Gariba Abdullah Akonse, he says that, good morning, Roslyn. The NDC promised 3 things before coming into power about galamsey. Number 1, the NDC promised Ghanaians to repeal the LI to stop all mining in the forest reserves. What has changed? Number 2, the NDC was in support of banning all forms of mining in Ghana, and what has changed as well? Number 3, the NDC was also in support of state of emergency on galamsey, and what has changed? Hypocrisy and dishonesty will expose the NDC administration for all Ghanaians to see. My regards to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Clinton Balfour says that the NDC must show commitment ahead of populist drive towards this fight against galamsey. If there is enough evidence proving Akunta mining's operation is illegal, then the law should take its force. However, it must not end there. We must see actual commitment by the government. The idea of legitimizing the informal sector of mining is good, but the challenge is our monitoring and commitment to fighting the illegalities within the licensed companies. We must see the government deploying realistic ideas ahead of this media drive concept. Seram comes back and says, tell the gentleman in glasses that the fight can only begin from one place before it gets to the end. As for the MPP guy, okay, the less... What has he done? Seram, okay. Obama Nation, good morning, and your lovely listeners, especially the great people of Ward K. I'm enjoying your program. Keep it up. My regards to the lovely father, Honorable Alhaji Al-Hassan Suhini, as Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways. All right. Abdul Makarigu, good morning. This is Abdul. Just 4 months in office, a whole ministry who is to solve the problems galamsey is now crying. So who is now going to solve the galamsey problem? MPP government in 8 years dealt with 3 serious national security issues: COVID-19, Russia, Ukraine, and galamsey. NDC in opposition was calling for a state of emergency. Why can't they do it now? Please, the minister should stop the crocodile tears. Louise, I see it do. The media was advocating for state of emergency during the election, and all sorts of words were raised against the president. Now, same situation, the same approach, but the media is not calling for state of emergency. Politicians are not ready to solve this problem, but they make noise for political gains. They promised to end this in a week. For that matter, they were calling for former president to do so. Now a minister is crying because of the situation. He should resign and apologize to the former president for all that he said against him. Revoking the license of Akonta mining will never end, galamsey. The government should declare a state of emergency to help combat the problem. I'll read this last one and then I go and read what is on WhatsApp. Clinton Abafa Bannon rightly said, Derek, a government commitment towards this fight has been zero. We are not doing proper policy planning, monitoring and evaluation in this sector. Whose duty is it to report on illegalities in our land or on our lands and water bodies? Clearly, someone is not doing their job. The licensing is good, but the commitment of monitoring is very abysmal. Kweku Lapatu, see, let me tell you, galamsey cannot be stopped, though. I swear, do you know people who are surviving from galamsey? Galamsey will be stopped, okay? All right, so we go on to our WhatsApp. I have a lot of messages on WhatsApp. Whoa. Okay. Alhaji Hamza from Pick Farm says, good morning, Roslyn. In my humble opinion on the revocation of Akonta mining has been long overdue. The evidence has been out there for long periods of time. According to the former Minister of Lands, the Lands Commission and the Forest Commission told us in this country that the Akonta mining company has no permit to operate in our forest reserves. What happened? We have the former President Nanado defending this company. This company, simply, the company belongs to Chairman. Okay, because the company belongs to Chairman Wontumi, who is Ashanti Regional Chairman, revocation of the license of Akonta Mining Company is in the right direction. How wicked can we be to ourselves? There's the same people or person who are out there shouting on top of their voices that President Mahama's government is not doing enough in the fight against galamsey. I hope and pray that all those involved in the wicked and criminal act should be prosecuted to serve as deterrent to others. And again, this fight should not only be targeted only on our opponents. It should be extended to members of NDC who are also involved in this wicked and shameful act. This is an act of terrorism against the state and they should be treated with kid gloves. Okay, I'll start from here. Good morning, this is Abdul Makirigu. I think, Abdul, I read your message on WhatsApp. Good morning, Joy Prime. NPP cannot give us a moral lesson about galamsey because they had 8 years to save the forest, but criminally passed laws and issued 2,000 licenses to destroy forest reserves and water bodies. But now they expect NDC to use 3 months to fix problems they created but couldn't solve in years. They must stop shedding crocodile tears about galamsey or doom so after looting ECG containers and cables. Water pollution is an act of genocide and they will be held accountable. The blue water gas to combat galamsey is a total waste of taxpayers' money. Let's not debate on this matter. A deceptive government is in charge. No wonder the minister cried. Abdullahi Abdul Razak from Tamale. Sami Boachia Samankese says that President Mahama promised to utilize AI in combating galamsey has proven futile. Instead, AI appears to be effectively countering their efforts. In light of this, where are the civil society organizations, organized labor, pastors, and reverend ministers? Hypocrisy and political mischief must cease in this country. What, in your opinion, will the minister's tears accomplish? You deceived Ghanaians and were entrusted with a mandate, yet you appear on national television crying. For what purpose? All right. Good morning, sister host. I beg you, please, kindly, Teacher Kojo from Tepa says that. Oh, okay. So today I have a lot of messages that I'm now... okay. Teacher Kuyo from Tepa in Suano says the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources is overstepping his authority and his actions appear to be more of a political vendetta. The ministry should go to court to support its case and not to use fiat orders to revoke Wuntumi's mining license. Gradually, it's becoming clearer that the NDC is attempting to cripple pro-NPP business magnate. This is not the kind of change that Ghanaians are demanding. Someone should step up and call the minister to order. Greetings to Chairman Odeniho. All right, so Well, if I say I'll read messages, I have so many messages. So, okay. But I think that I've done well by going on Facebook to also read a few messages from Facebook. So let me go on to our next topic. We have a lot of messages though. But I want us to go to Pandai and see what is happening in Pandai. It looks like the youth of the NDC are not too happy because of the MCE that has been given to them. Take a look at this video.
Robert, David Mensah Jampa, and Wager Gideon being shortlisted to proceed to the national level. Currently, the Pandai district nomination of a DC is on hold. But addressing a press conference in Pandai, the youth said they have information some 3 persons are attempting to smuggle into the list of the 3 nominees a certain applicant who was not shortlisted at the regional level. The convener of the group, Solomon Nabu, said they are demanding an explanation on why there is a delay in the nomination of a DCE.
The national vetting process has been unjustifiably altered without any official communication or explanation to the party members and stakeholders in Pandai. This unexplained delay has halted development within Pandai district and fueled widespread suspicions and anger among members and their stakeholders who fear that the party's internal democracy is being undermined by a few self-serving individuals. On keeping the good people of Pandai awaiting in abeyance, the concerned youth of the great NDC deemed it prudent to meet with the constituency chairman to know the reasons for the unexplained delay in the appointment of the DC for the Pandai district. On that account, a meeting was convened at the party's office on Tuesday, 15th April 2025. To the utmost dismay of the youth, the chairman, in an absurd and a condescending manner, told the peeved youth he would not have honored the invitation if he had known the agenda for the meeting earlier.
He said they are also demanding the DC be picked from the 3 shortlisted from the regional level.
A surprising revelation was laid bare by chairman, which took everyone present there.
Well, this is what is happening in Pandai. Let's speak with Martina Bugri, who is our correspondent. Okay, so she'll be joining us pretty shortly, but this is not something that we want to be seeing. Why is the youth angry, and why have they taken the law into their own hands and destroying properties? You know, and I was hoping that we'll wake up this morning to hear that there have been some arrests made. But unfortunately, I don't know if arrests have been made and, you know, maybe the police is yet to release a communique on it. We don't know about it yet. Maybe before the close of the day, police would have released a certain communique on it. But for now, we don't have any communication coming from the police saying that they have made some arrests of these youth that are not happy because of MC?
DC.
DC.
Well, you see, I would have wished that some of these things, we don't really pay much attention to it. If not for the distraction that they are causing at the rural level there, we shouldn't be paying much attention to these things. And the reason why I say so is that they are saying an act of suspicion. It isn't that the thing has even really taken effect, where the 3 people who have gone for the interview and have been shortlisted, that potentially it is any of the 3 that are likely to be picked as the district chief executive of the district. Now, they quickly and hurriedly put together a press conference that says that they are picking information that suggests that somebody else out of the 3 shortlisted people is going to be imposed on them at their DC. Why wouldn't they wait? You see, we are most of the time too much hurriedly ahead of ourselves because of politics. For all you know, there is somebody within these 3 that has been shortlisted that is behind this one, trying to mobilize the youth in the area to come out and say that, oh, we are suspecting that someone is going to be imposed on us. Why wouldn't you wait? If someone is imposed on you and you decide to go into the press to say that, yes, this person wasn't part of the people who were interviewed, he wasn't shortlisted, but all of a sudden he has found himself to the top and becoming the DC, then you have a case.
The problem here is not even about that. The problem is the indiscipline in the youth these days.
That is the point.
Because obviously, as humans, we will not like everybody.
Of course.
And if we live in a country that we are supposed to be abiding law citizens, then we shouldn't get to the point where people feel, because of how they feel, they should take the law into their own hands and destroy government properties, public properties, you know. And this is where the problem is. And that is what I feel we should speak on.
Yeah, and you see, like I keep saying, democracy will not allow you to take certain drastic measures. Democracy won't allow you to do that. The moment you attempt it, the people will come after you.
How won't democracy allow you? We all know what the law says about destroying public property.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what has democracy got to do with that?
That's what I'm saying, that, you see, it's a whole conspiracy theory that we are practicing. You see, it's a conspiracy theory. There are some people out there who they also have people who are behind them. So if the police make an arrest, tomorrow they'll release them. They are not going to be processed to court. Why? Didn't we live in this country where, excuse me to say, some NPP thugs went to ransack some court and a pregnant woman was there. She ran out from the place. What happens at the end of the day?
That's what the problem is. That's why we are here to speak against it. We don't have to say that because it happened at the end of the day, nothing happened. Yeah. We will keep quiet about it.
Yeah,
I think that when we take up such platforms...
We have been speaking against these ills in our society over the several decades.
We will still speak about it until
yes, we will still speak about it. But the issue is that I would have wished that the issue they are bringing to the public domain is a suspicion. It is not a reality. So why are they too hurried ahead of themselves? So that's why I'm saying that most of these cases, there are some people behind it. People want to look relevant. Why? It happened when the appointments started coming. People started burning party offices and all this. And let me tell you, in that district of Pandai, maybe there are over 500,000 people there who are qualified to become the DCE. So it is only one person who will become the district chief executive of the area. So why the hurry? So if the three shortlisted, it will not be surprising that three of the people there who have already been shortlisted, not all the people in Pandai are in support of them. What about the people who will also be in Pandai and say we don't support any of the three that have been shortlisted to become DCE? Where are we getting these two? Is it not going to be a counterfight? So we should be letting the law enforcement authorities work. But it is politics as usual. It is about who placed you there. If somebody placed you there, they say you cannot fight the hand that feeds you. So obviously there are people who others finance them. So when they get to a certain position, it is difficult for you to come back and fight these same people. So the police can only arrest them, but after arresting them, to what end?
The police cannot only arrest them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this.
Or maybe prosecute them to court.
It's about time we need to stop this thing, that the police can only arrest, and then what happened? The police must do what is right. That is their... No,
yes,
no,
yeah,
Richard,
speak.
Richard, police must do what is right. If it means that, because we are in a country that we are governed by laws.
Yes.
We cannot sit here, and what we are supposed to do is to condemn and make sure that the police does what is right. And so, yes, if political parties are doing something that is wrong, we created this platform. So we speak against it so that the right thing will be done. And so, unfortunately, I don't agree with you saying that arrest them and what happens. Something must happen. It is our responsibility to make sure that we call out people that are doing the wrong, and we call out the police to make sure that they do the right thing. And that is what's supposed to happen.
I agree with you 100%.
Thank you very much. Let me speak with...
We are precedent. We are talking about precedent.
Let's not condone the precedent.
No, I'm never
condemn it.
If left to me alone, anybody arrested, like I keep saying, you give them a public punishment.
All right, let's go to the leader of the group, Solomon Nambu, and he's joining us from Pandai. Yes, Solomon, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
And you?
Fine, thank you. Solomon, speak to us with regards to what's happening. You are the leader, right? Please help.
Exactly.
You are the... What are you leading? What is your call?
Our call is in the appointment for Pandai district, a chance of open 10 people to ask.
Solomon, is it possible to stand at a good place, because the network is not too good?
Okay. Can you hear?
Yes, it's better now. Please talk to us.
All right. 17 applicants showed interest. Then put party principles, all those people, the regional level. The 17 were. Out of the 17, 6 of them were shorted for further consideration at level. It is and it's
Oh, we can hardly hear you, Solomon. Unfortunately, we can't. So I will try and reach you again. We hope that you stand at a good place so that when we reach you, we'll get to understand you better. But what we're also calling for is that even if you're not happy about certain things, let's not take the law into our own hands. So that is what we are calling for this morning. Derek, let me bring you into the conversation. We are seeing this one too many, and, like what Richard said, precedent has been set. Under your government, we saw some people do certain things. Nothing happened. Now we are seeing it happen under the NDC.
So I may want to speak to my fellow young people out there. You see, as I was having my first submission, I said that we as a people have a certain level of sense of entitlement. And so we feel that because I'm MPP, I work so hard to ensure that the next MPP government assumes the reign of power. And so my person I want to be an MC, a minister, a CEO is what the government needs to do. But politics transcends beyond that. I mean, there are people who are financiers. I always tell my people, those days when we were fully active in TESCON at the university level, I tell my people that we are the ones who shout Kukrudu and Chubui. But there are people who provide money for us to buy water when we shout the Kukrudu. And so when it comes to matters of consideration, they are considered before us. Because at the end of the day, when the water is not provided for us to be shouting the Kukrudu, we may not be able to be shouting the Kukrudu. And so the people must come to the point of understanding that, yes, of course, you can register your displeasure, but there are appropriate means to register your displeasure. We've grown beyond the point of burning party offices, burning government properties and all of that just because you are aggrieved and then the person you want to become the district chief executive. I mean, you want President Mahama to do well. So allow him, give him that space to bring a representative that he feels can represent him fully at the district level. And I don't think that that is something that it's beyond the roof. And so please, we have done enough as young people. We have registered our displeasures in a wrong way so many times, but let's make progress as a nation. This hooliganism, this vandalism is nothing good to write home about. You can register your displeasure appropriately. And then the security agencies, just as my brother was saying, we should grow past the point where people are seen doing wrong, but because of political affiliates, the call from above statement is something that should be a thing of the past. Yes, we saw it happen previously. Nothing was done about it. It is for these same reasons that the NPP was voted out of office. And so the NDC new government shouldn't do the things that the NPP that we were voted out of office. I mean, this is a home battle and a home fight that I shouldn't have spoken to. But at the end of the day, an insecurity elsewhere is a security threat everywhere.
Yeah.
And so they should do what is right, and then they should help salvage some of these things. Because at the end of the day, as I always say, I'm an environmentalist. And so when they are burning these party offices and what have you, they should also look at the climate issues that comes up with. And so please, we beg them, we can do better. When you listen to the leader, I mean, his choice of words, his directory proves that he is educated, for lack of better words.
Well, he's online right now, if you don't mind me going to speak to him.
That's fine.
Yeah, Solomon. Yes, now it's good. Yes, let's hear you. You were telling us what your call is.
Yes, I said our call is simple. After these 17 individuals were vetted at the regional level, 3 were shortlisted to proceed to Accra for the final vetting and consideration. The date for the vetting was scheduled. The people were invited. They got there, they got to their tent, and they were told DS was withheld indefinitely without any reason given to them. So they came home without any reason. We expected the party leadership within the constituency to have called each member to inform them what happened. That never happened. So the concerned youth, which I am leading, decided to meet with the party chairman, who happens to be the father of the party within the constituency. And in fact, I must make a record that when they brought the family for the vetting, the chairman was asked the panelists who conducted the vetting. So within this whole prudent to hear from him, a meeting was convened on that route. And during the meeting, in fact, the chairman told us boldly, if he knew that was the reason for the meeting, he would have honored it. But we still proceeded. And we asked, are you informed about the people they shortlisted to go to Accra for the final consultation? And he said no. He didn't know. I will ask, why isn't you part of the panel? And he said he was part. But how come you vetted somebody and you know whether the person has been disqualified or otherwise? So we said, and if that's the case, if you don't have that answers that you want, a press conference will be the most important conduit for us to get the answers we want. And I have to place and record. The intel report told us the chairman and the former MP were manipulating things to bring in another person. Aside the three, they were not comfortable with the three. So they want to smuggle, let me choose my words, quote and quote, they want to smuggle in someone who went for vetting that was not qualified. So
Solomon is an intern?
Exactly, it's an intern.
Okay, so you don't have proof?
Well, when it is time for proof, maybe we would have to provide a proof.
Okay, but for now, what you have is intel?
It's intel. Okay. So we got the police notified that we'll be having a press conference. Then they said, yes, they cannot stop us. It is our right to have a press conference.
Yeah.
But then, if you make sure we don't defame anybody, and they gave us the modality to follow. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, they called us to the police station again, and they heard we're going to have a press conference, and if we could stop it because we're going to cause mayhem. We said, no, it is not a demonstration. We are only expressing our views we have. Then on Sunday, the date was scheduled to take for the press conference to take place. Then another group calling itself Concerned Youth also scheduled to have that same press conference at the same venue, same time, with us. So the police, in fact, I called personally the crime officer. They invited me to the office. When I got there, that group members were there. We sat down, and the police, I have to comment the police commander in Panda and then his crime officer. These men did very well.
Right. Solomon, let me find out from you. Is it the concerned youth that is destroying the government properties or public properties, or it is your men? Which is which?
In fact, I am not aware any public property within Panda has been destroyed.
Okay, so what we are seeing, the footages and the images that we are seeing is not from there?
Well, currently I am not by the television, so I can't see what you're talking about.
Have you been to the party office?
That was on Sunday, we went to the party office.
So you haven't been to the party office after that? Yesterday you were not at the party office, so you don't know if the party office is still intact or not?
Yes. Yesterday, the guys who were at the party office belong to the other group.
The concerned youth.
They are the concerned youth.
So if we should hear of any violence or any destroying of property, it's from their side, not from your side.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Solomon. Okay, thank you very much, Solomon. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are grateful, and we are calling on the police to do their job, because we know that they know how to do their job very, very well. Unfortunately, time is not on our side for us to continue, but I'll have to take your final, opinions on what we've discussed, and I'll come to you, Derek. So, Richard, please.
Well, just to conclude, like I said, it is not like we are trying to pamper anyone or to endorse illegality or legalism. All we are trying to say is that, we should build a country that we can talk about. In the past, this was the actions that were taken to curtail some of these things. So if it happens today, we are expecting that what was done to the previous one, they'll do it to another group who is attempting the same thing. But if previous guys did it and nothing really happened, the arrest will happen, they will go to the court will grant them bail, then it ends there. So I agree with you that our platform is for us to speak against some of these things. I only hope and pray that the things we say will be taken into good faith. And I am not a police officer, I'm not an immigration officer, I'm not a law enforcing officer. So it is the responsibility of the law enforcing officer to act upon some of this intelligence. When you ask him further, he said it's an intel. It's an intel. So we are too much ahead of ourselves. So on the other way, we are pleading with John Dramani Mahama. We know that 4 years is not enough for you to solve Ghana's problem in its entirety. But at least the basic thing that concerns everybody and our livelihood as the future is concerned is our water bodies. If you will not achieve anything at all, do something and make sure that you leave a good legacy. Posterity will remember you that when you came, at least you fought the galamsey and you won it halfway through, or at least you won it entirely.
All right.
But without that, we shouldn't expect too much from him, but we should give him the room to operate, give him at least a year, and after a year, we'll see what the future will hold for us all.
Thank you so much, Richard. Yes.
Okay, so with all our conversations we've had this morning, my summary is in brief. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, when he was a candidate and a former president, seeking to reoccupy the high office of the land, as part of the many things that he promised the ordinary Ghanaian, 3 were very key. 1, he says that they will combat illegal mining with the use of artificial intelligence. 2, he said that they would declare a state of emergency on all mining activities, whether legal or illegal. And so I am saying that, yes, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama may not be able to micromanage all the activities in the country, but I believe that when a state of emergency is declared, every single person involved in mining, whether legal or illegal, will be micromanaged by that single act of a state of emergency. And so if we are deliberate about this fight against galamsey, we should be able to do this once and for all. I mean, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I understand and I appreciate that this is a legacy presidency. This is a presidency that he may want to clear off his name. I mean, from 2016, 2015, 2014, when the name John Dramani Mahama is mentioned, it was synonymous to doom so. It was synonymous to incompetence that they fought so much against. And so this time, as a legacy presidency, we are expecting him to do better than what was done previously. And so if businesses are complaining of doom so, if today cement prices have increased by about 40 cedis, if people and businesses are complaining in just 4 months, there is a lot more that needs to be done. And we beg of him, he can do it and he should fix it. Enough of the complaints, enough of the tracks, they should fix it.
All right, thank you so much. There's also a nationwide tour? Thank you, Tor.
Thank you, Tor.
Is it nationwide?
Yeah, nationwide
okay.
Tour by our former leader of our party.
He's still the leader. It's not the former. He's still.
So no, the constitutions of the NPP is a bit different from the NDC.
Okay.
And so with them, their flag bearer becomes the leader of the party until the next election. Okay. But it is not like that. And so the national chairman takes sort of the leadership of the party.
Oh, okay. So he's no more the leader.
The leader of the party.
Okay.
He's a former flag bearer.
Okay.
And with his former running mate at the time, the leadership of the party will be engaging in a thank you tour that in all things we should give thanks unto God. Although the election didn't go as how we expected, but God knows best. And so we are thanking the people and then we are thanking God as well for at least, if for nothing at all, no single member of the NPP lost his life because of this election. Although there were hooliganism all over, people were wanting to seize seats at the point of guns and all of that. But we are giving thanks unto God for the opportunity he's given us, the life he's re-giving us, and the opportunity he's given us to re-strategize and rebuild our party to recapture power in 2028.
All right, great. So the thank you tour is ongoing. You want to say something? It's
a thank you, and a thank you is a thank you. And we want to thank us for everything we have done for him. We appreciate it, but I only want to ask my brother, where is their chairman? Where is the chairman of the New Patriotic Party? I haven't heard Mr. Stephen and team in a long while. Since they lost the election, I've not really seen him taking full leadership of the party. All we hear about is the general secretary who is doing all the talking around. But I want to believe that the NPP will want to learn their lessons and learn it right. and believes that they should allow the system to work. They shouldn't create that impression that everybody, I heard that info analytics survey that said that now from 48 to about 57% of the NPP members are rooting for Dr. Bawumia. I want to tell them that it's early days here. They should allow the healing process to really fester. They shouldn't create this impression that they want to go with Bawumia, then everybody start rallying around Dr. Bawumia. It is too early day, and it might deepen the division among them.
All right, thank you so much. My guests have been Derek Ajekum, who represented the NPP. Thank you so much, Derek. And Richard Sumah, who represented Movement for Change. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you for having us.
And to all of you, thank you so much for sending in your messages to us on Facebook and on WhatsApp. Unfortunately, today I couldn't read all the messages, but I promise you I'll read all the messages tomorrow, okay? Don't worry at all.